Let's find out who we've got around the table. Come and have a seat on the table of chats. Yes, that's you. Let me turn this mic up. Hello. Yes, you're all welcome. Come and have a seat. This is Talkaoke, pop-up talk show. Who have we got around the table of chat? What's your name?
My name's Yola.
And?
My name's Catherine.
And what's your name?
My name is Philippos.
Can I call you Philip?
Yes, sure.
Okay, cool. Have you got anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to get the ball rolling with? Any thoughts? Yeah?
Philip, have you been doing the Lego Monarch of the Glen?
Yep, I have doing the Legos.
Completed. How many panels have you completed?
Like 30, I think.
30. Okay, good. Well done. That's excellent. Do you see yourself making real paintings in the future? Or is it just the Lego paintings that you like doing?
We can just do like cube, like Legos.
Yeah, so you're more of a sculptor really than a painter. Hello, come and take a seat. This is Talkaoke. We've got Philip, we've got Catherine, we've got Yola and Mikey. You're very welcome. I don't know. Yes, come and have a seat. Yes, you can. We don't really have a subject yet. So has anyone got? Unless we want to talk about painting, we should really, in a way. It's not actually in the contract, but maybe we should talk about it as we're in the gallery. Any views on painting? Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. Can you speak Portuguese?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you can?
Sometimes.
Okay, not today maybe, I don't know. So, yeah, come and have a seat on the table of chat. We've got Philip, we've got Catherine, we've got Yola. What's your name?
Muthuraman. I'm from India, Muthuraman.
Muthuraman?
Yeah.
Come and have a seat.
I'm actually from Greece.
You're from Greece?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. So we kind of got...
You know, I didn't know you were from Greece. When I asked what your name was and you said Philippus, you didn't tell me that you're from Greece.
Philippos it is, Philippos.
Philippos.
Okay. Have a seat. This is Talkaoke, it's a free-form talk show. You can have a seat, you don't have to speak the language to sit around the table. Come and have a seat. At least we'll find out what your name is. So was it... What's your name?
Muthuraman.
Muthram?
Yeah.
We've got Philippos, we've got Catherine and Yola. And what's your name?
Vitalino.
Vitalino, okay. I guess we've got a kind of international gathering. We've got India, we've got Greece, we've got Portugal. Where are you from?
Oh, Britain.
Britain, yeah?
Britain.
Okay. So we've got the British side over here. Maybe, where are you from? Scotland. Come and have a seat. Okay. Oh, interesting. And so we've got Muthuraman, and we've got Philippos, we've got Vitalino, Catherine, Yola. What's your name?
Alison.
And David. Now it's funny you say Scotland, because one of the things we've been talking about quite a lot today is Scotland, because we've been talking about, should this be the national emblem of Scotland?
Yeah.
You say yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what the national emblem of Scotland is at the moment?
No way, I don't know.
You don't know? Does anyone know around the table? In terms of an animal, what's the national animal?
A unicorn.
Yeah, that's right, it's a unicorn. So there's been a little bit, earlier on there was a little bit of, I wouldn't call it controversy, but like warm discussion about whether the unicorn should be replaced by the stag. And in fact, there's this is going on a little bit from, this is kind of like the modern Scotland with the robot stag, which is an extreme version, perhaps, of the conversation. But, this is one of the subjects that's been on the table. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. Sorry, I've forgotten your names. In the excitement. What was it again? Alison and David and Muthuraman.
Yeah.
And Philippos, Vitalino, Catherine. Come and have a seat. What's your names? So, that's one of the subjects. It's kind of up to you where you want to take it. We could talk about, I kind of feel that a lot of people, a lot of people around the table, they're tourists. They may be, they may be kind of, don't know that much about Scotland. Do you live in Scotland? Or you're from Portugal? Or are you from Brazil?
I'm from Portugal, Lisbon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Does Portugal have a national animal? Like an animal? Like the animal?
Spanish, French.
Okay, how can we say this in Spanish? Or I don't know. Any Portuguese speakers here? What would it be? Anyway, I'll think about that in a minute. So, we'll come back to you. But India, does India have a national animal?
Yeah.
What is the national animal of India?
Peacock.
A peacock, really? Why a peacock? Is there any reason for peacock?
I don't know.
Does it matter to you what the national animal of India is?
Maybe it is a symbol of Lord Muruga and a Hindu god.
Okay, so it's something to do with Hinduism. Okay. What about Greece? Does that have a national animal?
I don't know, but like I go to the zoo, so I like the cheetahs.
The cheetahs. Okay, so you would pick
But
a
I
cheetah.
don't know what the national
Yeah.
animal in Greece. Nope.
Okay. What's the national animal of Greece? That's what we're asking now. Okay. Okay, what's the national animal of Portugal?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh, you're from Greece. Okay. Okay, that's from. Okay. What's the national animal of Greece?
Well, we usually had donkey.
Okay, a donkey. Really?
A donkey, yeah.
Why a donkey?
I don't know because
Does it represent the spirit of Greek people?
maybe patience and hard
patience.
workers.
Patience and hard work. Okay. What is the national animal of Portugal?
Nacional?
Animal.
Ah, animal.
Yeah.
Qual é o animal nacional?
I mean, does it matter? Going back to Scotland, does it matter? You think not really?
No, I mean, we have the thistle, we have the unicorn, we
Yeah.
have the Scottish flag. I mean, we have lots of symbols, and as long as you identify with them,
Yeah.
then there's no problem having diversity of options, I think.
So you
Shows a broader, yeah, I mean, we have a long history, we have lots going on, we have lots of things that represent our nation, and I don't see why we have to have one that just...
So in a way, you
that's
can
it.
have the stag and the
Yeah.
unicorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the haggis, and Loch Ness. I mean...
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, actually, people said the Loch Ness
Yeah.
monster perhaps should be the one.
Yeah. There's no reason for it. The salmon as well.
Yeah,
Just-
that's
I
been
mean,
mentioned
that's-
too. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't see why there's any reason just to have one. That's kind of boring. And
Yeah. Should it be like almost like the national menagerie of Scotland? Yeah.
I don't think that the national is actually like that, but I don't know.
Well, you don't think the national thing is that important? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. What is more important then for your identity than what is national?
Maybe a loving?
A loving. Okay. So love is more important than nations. Okay. I mean, we've got some new faces at the table. So we didn't get everybody's name actually. So Yola, Catherine, what's your name again?
Ana Maria?
Anna Maria, Vitalino, what's your name?
Yeah.
Thea.
Yeah.
And
Clear.
Claire and Philippos and Mutram and David and Alison. Alison, give me a chance. I'm getting there. It's after lunch. We're warming up after lunch. So you don't think that? I mean, do we need it? I mean, so it's more about love than what nation you're from. Do people agree with what Philippos is saying? That it should be more about love? Do we need to have a national identity at all? I mean, how important is a national identity? Do you think it's important to say that you're from India, or is it more that the town that you're from?
Can you explain?
Is it more important to say, where are you from in India?
I am from southern part of Kerala.
So is it more important to say I'm from Kerala,
Kerala.
or more important to say I'm from India?
So India is a country. It is a multilingual, multicultural country.
Yeah.
You can't say India is one country as a whole because it connected with so many countries.
So there's lots of countries.
So it is made.
Yeah.
This country is made by only British as a single country.
Okay.
Otherwise, it was so many countries. Now it has become one.
Okay. So it's actually.
Maybe people to people, you may have controversial statements.
Yeah. No, controversial is good. Yeah.
If you are asking somebody else, they may say, "Okay, India is one, no doubt in it.
Yeah.
We love India at present, but it is as a historical thing is it is made of so many countries of different culture, different languages.
Okay, so that's the Indian view. In a way, it's created India. The idea of India is a British idea. I mean, again, what about other parts of the world? Portugal? Do you feel? Where are you from in Portugal?
Portugal, we are from the north,
Yeah.
but we can't speak English, sorry.
But which town are you from?
Near Coimbra,
Okay.
the middle.
Is it more important to be the Portugal or the actual town?
No. The more important are, we are from the Europe,
Okay,
the
Europe.
world.
Okay, so Europe, bigger, not just about Portugal, but Europe. I mean, what about on this side? Scotland, Britain, Europe?
All three.
Yeah.
And also a West Coaster.
Yeah.
So we lived in Germany for
Yeah.
a large number of years, around about the time where the whole Scottish independence debate was.
Yeah.
And we were very clear that we would prefer to stay British.
Yeah.
But even though we did want to stay British, that in no way diminishes how Scottish we feel. We would
Yeah.
still, both of us, I'll speak for my husband here.
Yeah.
We would say we're Scottish if we were asked
Yeah.
where we come from
Yeah.
and what our nationality is, but we still also feel very, very British, and we feel very, very European.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very interesting times currently.
Yeah. So,
With everything going on, but I see absolutely no problem with being able to identify with all of those three.
so there's lots of
things.
layers.
There's no issue.
Yeah.
It's the same with I'm able to be a mother, a daughter, a wife, a friend, and that doesn't come into any conflict.
Yeah.
So I don't see why the nationality level has to particularly cause as much
Yeah.
conflict as
I mean,
it does.
Is it because perhaps we focus on that rather than all these other levels? Do we focus too much on the this obviously this is from the Highlands. Should we be calling this the emblem of the Highlands rather than the emblem of Scotland?
No, I think
Yeah.
I think it can be seen as an emblem of Scotland.
Yeah.
I think the reason why the unicorn was selected seems to be almost lost in the sands of time as well.
Yeah. Well, we heard about it from our
yeah,
expert before.
But
Yeah.
I messed up.
Yeah, no, that was earlier. You would have had to have been here for 2 hours to have heard
But
heard
I mean,
that,
how
yeah.
many people out in the street know that
Yeah.
unicorn is a symbol of Scotland?
Yeah.
I think, does it help you identify with, the country or not is a question, and do you feel that it's necessary?
I mean, yeah. Do we need to identify with a country? Do we need to identify with the donkey of Greece, for example?
Well, why did I not think about that for a minute?
because you're too young.
Yeah, okay.
I think we need to
Yeah.
to know who we come from, where we come from,
Yeah.
to know our origins. But it's not something that has to be, to shut us down from creating wings and having roots in another place like we did here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it's home here for
Yeah.
us. Though we come from Greece, we don't
Yeah.
forget our tradition, our origins, but we have to try to make a living here,
Yeah.
try to find a way here and connect with people here.
Do you feel Scottish as well, partly
Of
Scottish?
course,
Yeah.
and grateful.
Yeah.
Really grateful. Yeah.
Okay, so it's in a way with all these things mixed together. It's not just as simple as one identity, but how they all flow together. Are you Scottish?
No, with this accent.
Well, yeah.
Partially, yes.
Okay.
But I think
Come over. Okay.
I think it's interesting because I consider that I'm from Norfolk.
Right.
Don't care about the town that I come from, but
Yeah.
I consider that I come from Norfolk.
Yeah.
And the next thing that I'm proud of is being British.
Yeah.
Which for the Scottish part of Britain or the Welsh part of
Yeah.
Britain or the Irish part of Britain is a much more difficult concept.
Yeah.
But I have Irish blood, I have Scottish blood, I have very little English blood.
Right.
So I'm proud of being British.
Yeah.
And I know we've done terrible things in the past, but I can't change that.
Yeah.
But what I can change is going forward, to be British and to be proud of the fact that we're an open country
Yeah.
and things like that. I don't think we do it right by everybody, but yes,
Okay,
being British I'm proud of, and being from Norfolk I'm proud of.
Okay. Has Norfolk got a county animal or an emblem?
Norfolk dumpling.
A dumpling. Okay. Right.
What can you
So,
say?
Yeah.
Look at the
Yeah.
shape of me.
And I guess we're talking also about, you've brought in, what's your name, sorry?
I'm Wendy.
Wendy's brought in this idea of the British identity. Are we doing, what you're suggesting in a way is that are we doing enough work to kind of craft that identity of this open Britain and this,
So many sections, isn't it?
Yeah.
Britain as
In a way, a
whole
bit
is
like-
made up of so many sections. And each section of it should be proud of itself for what it does. And yes, it should criticise central Britain, because central Britain does a lousy job by the British, let alone anybody else in the world, But I think that I don't know. I don't feel even vaguely European, which is even worse.
Okay. So, different people feel different things. Where are you from? What do you feel like? Is it the town that you're from? Is it the country, the city? Or do none of these things matter? Philippos is a citizen of the world. And it's love that's more important. So different people have got different views on this.
Yeah,
but,
different countries we come from.
Yeah? Does it matter?
No.
No? What about Britain? Are we doing enough to kind of promote the idea of Britain?
Well,
We'll see in the future.
Yeah,
For him, it's the future.
Okay. I mean, what about, what do you think about this idea of Britain? Are we kind of losing track of what Britain really is and what it's about?
no.
No? Okay, you say no? Why?
Well, I really don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know because, I'm really new here and I need to explore more and connect more to people here to understand and identify this origin or this label.
So it's complicated, I think we'll call it that.
It is a little bit, yeah.
Matrim, have you got a view on this about do you feel here that you're in Scotland or you're in Britain?
Pardon?
It's too difficult a question.
Can you explain?
Where are, I guess, do you see yourself, are you here on holiday or?
Yeah, I'm here with my daughter. Of course, my granddaughter is here to do she's doing something here. That's part another thing. I come for holidays. Actually, I will be here for 1 or 2 months here with my daughter. They are the citizen of this country.
Right.
And they are enjoying like anything.
Yeah.
Comparing to our country, they are enjoying more. Particularly my grandchildren, they are enjoying more here.
Okay.
They like the culture, the language, the system of things. Everything they like comparing to my country.
Okay, so we've got a good system going on.
They will not come back to our country, sure. They will be settling down here.
Okay, so
of course, we too have that flexibility of allowing them to come over here because they have a better life. As this boy is telling that the world is ours. There is a word in my mother tongue. It is one of the very ancient, 2,000 years before. That it was told by a poet in Tamil. My language, mother tongue is Tamil, which is one of the very ancient languages of the world. Yadum ure yavarum kelir. That means all over the world is yours and all are our relatives.
Okay.
Our ex-president Kalam was telling in French parliament once, few years before.
Right.
He was getting a thumping applause in the parliament of France.
Right.
The word, when he was explaining the meaning of this word, because that type of language I am coming from. So for me, as this
you see everyone as brothers and sisters.
We are all human beings. Even I can remember about Scottish when I'm here. I can tell you a historical event, a historical man, an engineer from this part of Scotland. His name is John Pennyquick. He was when British was ruling India. He was in my part of the country. There people were starving because the one part is full of water, other part was famine. So that in between that's called Western Ghat.
Okay, so Kerala, he made his irrigation.
This is Kerala, that is the other Tamil Nadu. That this gentleman, he thought that why these people are suffering because of not getting water. He made a dam. That it has become now there is a very big case in between Kerala and Tamil Nadu states, neighboring states. But this engineer built with his own cost. Actually, he was getting his own money, his salary, getting from this British government. That time he was an employee of British government working in India. He built that dam. it is 120 years before.
Okay, so there's certainly a Scottish influence in Kerala.
My point here is,
Yeah.
he was not thinking that he is Scottish. When he was living there,
Yeah.
you see, when you are be a Romeo like that,
Yeah.
when he was there, he was considering those people as his people.
So it was just-
and another
yeah.
Irish man, Caldwell,
Yeah. Yeah.
Robert Caldwell, who was a person who wrote Dravidian. Actually, there is a Aryan Dravidian fight is there in India, you know. This Tamil is the ancient Dravidian language.
Yeah.
For that language, the history of the language was brought up by Caldwell.
Okay,
Was
so
a
he
father.
researched the whole history of the language, and
So
yeah.
in that way,
Yeah.
I like this Irish or Scottish or British.
Yeah.
Those people were help, even though they were ruling the
Yeah.
country. Okay, they did good things also.
Yeah. Okay, so there were some good things, and there were. In a way, we don't always think of our country or do we even think of our country at all? I suppose when we're just helping people.
I think, no, we don't. We think about
Yeah.
the people. I think, just going back a fraction, one of the interesting things is that one of the things that scares the English
Yeah.
is that without the other countries, we actually don't have a culture.
Yeah.
We
So-
have adopted Scottish culture, Irish culture, Welsh
Yeah.
culture, but you don't see an English national dress or
Yeah.
an English. We
Yeah.
don't have a culture as such, which is really weird if you think about it.
Right. Okay, so that's interesting. So how come there's not much of an English culture, but there's Scottish, Irish, and Welsh culture? Or can anyone explain that? What's going on? Yeah.
Maybe we're just too good at this.
Okay. What you mean? The Scottish people are better at it?
Or no,
Yeah.
in adopting, I think, mentalities and
Yeah.
attitudes from other people. You know?
Okay. Okay. So we're good. So in a way.
I was going to say.
Okay. So it's about adopting other English's identity is about adopting other identities, perhaps.
I think the
Yeah.
whole idea of your identity should be an
Yeah.
evolving process.
Obrigado.
Should be an evolving process. You know,
Yeah.
I think you can see this with a lot of the migration. You know,
Yeah.
people come to work in different countries,
Yeah.
adopting the cultures, and I think the world's getting smaller. We
Yeah.
should be promoting more people to come in, and I think the idea of what's British, what's German, what's
Yeah.
know, Portuguese, Greek, etc. will be an evolving process where it'll be influenced eventually by the kind of mixing.
Yeah. So in a way, it will be much more of a kind of, salad of different identities and mixing and matching. And where are you from? That's what we're talking about at the moment. And what is your, how do you see your identity? We've got some Greek, English, Scottish people. Give us a final thought before you go, David and Alison. That's what we're talking about now. Where are you from over there? You're Scottish. I mean, do you think it will be more of a kind of mix and match kind of identity in the future, rather than the pure Scottish thing? So, but what will that lead to? Come closer. So, okay. So come and have a seat. What's your name?
Matt.
Mark. Matt. And we got Mutram. What's your name? Malika, and we got Philippos, and we've got Despina.
Yeah.
And
Catherine.
and Yola, and I'm Mikey. Come and have a seat. So, what you're saying that you think Scotland will be independent in the future?
Aye, yeah, definitely.
But how will that change the Scottish identity? Would it be, as David is saying, more of a kind of sort of mixture of identities, because people will just inevitably come from different places, or will it be a more kind of concentrated Scottish identity?
I guess it'll be a mixture, and a mixture of the two.
Yeah, so a bit of
Scottish
both, really.
culture's kept quite alive. There's a revival of Gaelic, for example.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more Scottish history in curriculums and education.
Yeah.
Like that, so.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about Wendy's gone now? I was a shame I didn't get a final thought from her, but we had someone from England saying that England's not got much of an identity, apart from really adopting other identities.
Well, it's got Morris dancers. It's got its own folklore as well, quite a strong folklore, England.
I mean,
for example, Legend of Robin Hood, comes from English folklore.
I mean,
it's still alive.
Do you think that English people maybe are not as connected to their identity or their folklore?
Perhaps. They were defeated by the Romans and then ruled by the French for 300 years. So that's probably why.
Okay, so has that all suppressed? And what do people think about the idea of an independent Scotland in this context of Europe and of the world?
Maybe Greece is actually the hottest place on Earth.
Is okay? Is that why do you say that?
Maybe because it's hot and the water's hot.
Everything's hot in Greece. Okay.
Well,
what about Scotland?
Well, it's cold, rainy.
Yeah.
And it's windy.
Okay. So where are we going to go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about this Scottish independence? What do you think about Scottish independence coming from India?
I don't know much about this, but of course, recently you heard that referendum.
Yeah. Is there any sort of movement in Kerala to be independent of the rest of India?
In India?
Yeah.
No.
No. Is there any part of India that wants to be independent?
No. It's not possible at all. It's not possible there.
Okay.
It's not possible, but okay. Scottish, they have some reason here why they want to come out of position, but I don't know what the recent experience what they got because of Brexit. They may be interested to come out of
so it. Brexit might drive it forward. Have you got a final thought? Sorry, Mitchum. Have you got a final thought, Philippos and Despina?
About what?
Anything really? What I mean, where are we going to take this conversation?
Maybe I would say,
nowhere.
maybe go to maybe like India and talk about it with other people.
Yeah.
I think
it would be interesting, wouldn't it, to take this to India, take this talk show to India. Let me get a final thought from you, Matt, before we go. Final thought?
No final thoughts. We're in a procedure. Everything is in a process.
Everything's moving.
Maybe why would we actually do this? Because everybody knows that some countries are different.
Yeah.
But some countries are not different from another country.
Yeah.
But some are.
I think that's a fair summary of the conversation so far. Matt, final thought before you go?
I can actually.
Thank you. The Efkaristo. Let's just get. What do you see? Say in 20. Let's go back to the. Can we go back to the robot moniker, the Glen? In 20 years' time, how will Scottish identity have changed? Do you think?
I think people have been more educated about Scotland's history and culture. I guess so we get more alive.
Okay. So this is our sort of updated Scottish identity for the future. We don't know if we'll have the predator robot deer yet. Final thought?
Right. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thanks for coming to sit down.
Yeah, because I'm a tourist now.
Yeah.
I admire your conversation, whatever thing you asked.
Thank you.
I like it.
One question, because I think Philippos mentioned that maybe we should do this in India.
He wants to make it in India.
What would the conversations be about in India?
No, India, anybody can come there.
Yeah.
They can live. Only thing is, now that population-wise, it's not like other country.
Yeah.
India's like China. It's thickly populated.
Yeah.
And it's more of unemployment.
Right.
Only people from India, they need to come other countries to work.
Yeah.
Otherwise, of course, they can come to start some business there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a good country to start business out.
Yeah. Well, that's what maybe we're thinking about starting our Talkaoke business here in India. Have you got a thought? Have you enjoyed today? What's been the most fun thing?
I'm not sure. Just everything was really good.
Okay. Is this the first time you've been to this gallery? Or have you been before?
I've been before.
Okay. When did you come? What did you do last time?
Last time I was just looking at the pictures and painting some of them with my own sketch pens and paints.
And what about this time?
This time it actually felt much more better.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, there was much more activity to do, and I like the pictures a bit better than last time.
Okay. So, it's interesting. Maybe doing the activities helps you to get into the pictures a little bit. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so where do we want to take this conversation? We talked a little bit about all these different kind of levels in a way. Somebody said the different levels. You know, or does it really matter, or where we're from, or?
It's quite obvious that we're all a mixture, because if you look at the DNA, I mean, I'm just suddenly popped into my mind because I'm half Polish, and I was reading that 30,000 Scots went to Poland after the Highland clearances, who I think have just amalgamated into Polish culture. So quite a lot of Poles will have Scottish roots there from a similar time, 1700 and something.
Right.
At least 30,000, which was quite a significant amount for that era. So
yeah. So that actually.
So actually, a lot of people think when they analyse the DNA, we're all mixtures, aren't we? So to have several identities is probably more realistic.
Yeah.
So lots of us are born somewhere, brought up somewhere else, have a family from somewhere else.
Yeah.
So what does it make you?
Okay.
Yeah. You have to have several identities, don't you?
Okay, Catherine, have you got a view on this?
Yes, I think we do. I would say we all have different identities. I mean, I was born in Surrey, but I was born in, sorry.
Yeah.
But I still feel like I'm Scottish because I spent most of my life up here, and my parents are Scottish.
Yeah.
But there's always a I suppose I feel like I'm Scottish and British, and I would also like to be European and from the world. And I liked Philippus's idea that love should be sort of the overarching kind of way forward.
Okay, well...
It also seems that probably moving and migration and internationalism is obviously the way forward. It's just how we handle it.
But it's always been the way forward.
Okay.
That's what the species is progressing towards. The world's getting smaller, as Matt said.
Okay.
So that's a natural progression, inevitable for technology and everything else, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about stags? Are they mixing more?
Well, perhaps we'll get some kind of more interesting art reflecting that. I mean, that's a very... How old is this picture?
This picture is from 1851.
1851, so 1952.
167 years old.
167 years ago. Perhaps it's no longer relevant in that sense. Perhaps nobody now would be able to pick a symbol like that.
We've updated it a little bit. Yeah. I mean... Is there such a thing as national identity kind of important, as important now as it was in this time when this was painted? And this wasn't really painted as a...
Perhaps also things, you're hearing more and more conversations now in the news about paperwork, right to stay, passport, rather than, as a form of identity, rather than what you are.
Yeah.
Rights of residency,
so
that kind of thing seems to be more and more talked about more often.
So it's more about a legal status than as something you feel. Okay. I guess I don't know if that subject's got as much legs as a stag, but where do we go with this conversation? That's the question. We need people. We need. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. What's your view of this? We didn't even really get your name. We've got Catherine. We've got Yolo. We've got.
I'm Muriel.
Muriel?
Yep.
Have you got a view on this? Or do you think that the kind,
I think nationalism is very dangerous, actually.
Yeah.
And I think it's much better that we are not a nationalist country.
Yeah. I mean, do you think something like this is a dangerous symbol of nationalism?
I was thinking about football. Well, what makes you feel more nationalistic than that? And they promote that. They make you...
Football is tribal.
Yeah. I mean... Is it a good...
Criticises it. Nobody criticises it at all. They just think it's fantastic to be nationalistic in this way and to promote it as such. You can see why people get confused. Are we to be nationalistic or not nationalistic?
Yeah. Okay. You think promoting
it's a terrible thing, nationalism, because obviously we know the dark side.
If you look at all the wars that have started, it's all to do with nationalism.
Okay. So I mean. Do you think it's, I'll hold it up the right way around, do you think something like this kind of, if somebody says, oh, this is Scottish, particularly Scottish, is that feeding into a nationalism?
It's symbolic,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's nationalist.
Yeah,
because you get stags in many other countries.
Yep. We heard that earlier on today about how stags really are pretty much everywhere in Northern Europe. But I mean, do we want to talk about this question about nationalism and what it means? Is there a good nationalism and a bad nationalism, or is it all just...
Come and join.
Come and have a seat. Yeah, come and have a seat. We have got Catherine, we have got Yola, we have got Muriel. What's your name?
Pam.
Pam, come and have a seat. I mean, we're, at the moment we're going a bit serious. We're going a bit kind of... We're going a bit radio... We're going a bit Radio 4 because we started talking about this as an emblem of Scottishness, and then we started talking about national identity, and then Muriel said, oh, you know, nationalism in a way is kind of, can really only be a bad thing, and it's quite dangerous, and that's where we are right now.
Divisive.
Yeah.
Very divisive.
Yeah.
Can't it? But I think being proud of your heritage is a different thing to nationalism.
Yeah.
A very distinct thing. Because I'm from Wales.
Yeah.
So I have some sort of idea what you're thinking about. Yeah.
So, I mean, from the Welsh, I mean, it's good to get because we actually we've heard from a lot of Scottish people from all around the world, and from one English person who kind of said, we're a bit lacking in England of actual national identity, or a bit disconnected. But they mentioned Wales, saying Wales, you know, Wales and Scotland and Ireland are much more connected to their...
A smaller nation, though, population-wise, so you tend to know people within communities a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think England has got a very distinct identity as well.
Okay, what would you say the English identity is?
Oh, gosh. There's a lot of... I think there's a lot of pride, but it's so varied in different regions.
So it's more of a regional thing than a
I think it's more regional.
Yeah. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. So we've got Pam, we've got Catherine, we've got Yola, we've got Muriel. What's your name? Jeff. So we're sort of talking about, it's all started with this. This is a kind of iconic Scottish image. But then we started talking about this kind of, in a way, these days, people have got these multiple identities and not really just from one country. And then Muriel mentioned, well, nationalism is a divisive thing, and it's more about, I think you said, Pam, it's more about connecting to a heritage than sort of a national badge in a way. So that's where we are in the conversation right now. And then we were just trying to work out, well, what is the English identity, or is it more regional? Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. This is the Monarch of the Glen. Do you know this? Do you know this painting? It's just down there. But we're the kind of the brain of the gallery here, just trying to work some of these things out. Welcome to the brain. So that's where we are. And so, Jeff, have you got any thoughts on this?
Well, I think we all need to belong somewhere. I don't think we can just wander around the planet and go anywhere and be... Yeah. I mean, how boring is that if we go into... Yeah. There's no differences between countries and cultures and things like that.
So it's a bit disconnected. What's that?
It is veering that way at the moment. We had somebody here earlier who talked about London being just no different from New York. It was just a bland city full of people visiting, and he found it really similar. I mean,
the people, the mixture of cultures and things. I mean, the buildings have got a definitely English sense to them, and New York being a new city, it's all brand new buildings and all the rest of it. But I must admit, there isn't any. It's a mixture of cultures.
Yeah. But is it in a way too mixed? I think that's the question. Is it like so mixed? A bit like in art. That way, if you mix all the colours together, you just get a kind of grey mush. Yes. Yeah. Is it the same? Is it that going to be the same? Or will we form some other kind of idea of our identity?
I think it's human nature to belong somewhere and have a sort of like different tribes, as it were, that have their own sort of culture and things like that. It doesn't mean to say that you can't be friends with anybody else. Yeah. I mean, you're friends. Like you have friends. You have very good friends, but you don't have to get into bed with them or live with them. You're friends. You socialise with them, etc., etc.
So in terms of like what you belong to, what would you say, Jeff, that this is me and this is what I belong to? It could be anything at all. What would you say is throw out, just to give us some idea of Jeff the person?
What, myself, talk about me? What sort of, well, but I've obviously been born in England and I've been brought up with a certain culture. Yeah. And I feel comfortable within that culture.
Yeah. But what sort of things do you connect to that say, oh, this is me kind of thing?
Oh, well, it's very difficult to, to talk about yourself in that respect, so because no one's perfect.
Yeah, so
we've all got things that were wrong, we can improve upon and all that sort of stuff.
So in a sense, it's not that much about the country of England. It's more about more personal things that you're connecting and saying, this is me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky enough to, as opposed to the rest of the world, I'm lucky enough to have had a decent education, a free education, and the culture in the country, I believe, to be sort of very tolerant for compared with an awful lot of other countries. Not all, of course, but there are a few countries in the world where, there's dictatorships, people are told what they've got to do and all that. I'd hate to live in that sort of environment.
So in a way, it's a sense of freedom, I suppose, and a sense of tolerance. Come and join in the conversation. Earlier on, we were asking the kids, what animal would you kind of put yourself next to, and people come with all the different animals, from bees to penguins to kingfishers. But now we're going a bit deeper, and we're saying, what kind of really makes you out as you? Whoops. For me, it's interference. Whoops. So come and have a seat. We've got Jeff, we've got Pam, we've got Catherine, we've got Yola. Come and get involved in this. Yes, you can. Let's have a round of applause. Oh no, a bit of a weak round of applause there. Come and get involved in this. And we've got Muriel, we've got Yola, and Mikey. We're talking about we're talking about national identity and a sense of belonging, but if it's not national identity, how do you then identify yourself if it's not about national identity or what your favourite animal is?
Is it a sense of home and belonging, wherever you are, wherever you're from? Surely that's very important. To most generations, I would have thought.
What is it for you, Pam, would you say?
I think... home.
Yeah.
And my home's in Wales.
Your own particular home.
Yeah. It's lovely. It's in Snowdonia. It's very peaceful.
Yeah.
But I love visiting different places, and I feel part of different places as well. Yeah. And I think being Welsh and Scottish and Irish to some extent, people have that sense of a dual nationality. You're part of Britain. Yeah. And then you're also part of Europe, very much so, because they're our neighbours, after all, which might be a bit topical at the moment. Yeah. And then a global, aren't you, really? Yeah. And I think the next generation, the younger generation, feel that. They just pop on planes everywhere. Yeah. That's...
Well, let's ask the younger generation. Do you see yourself as British, Scottish, or just citizen of the world? And what's more important to you? You're not sure? No? Do you care about that at all anyway? Is it important? Is it more about what you do, or what films you're into?
Yeah, I think it's more about what you do. Yeah. I would kind of consider myself as being more belonging to, or feeling comfortable in the art world. So art. So I feel comfy in art.
So being in the kind of country, the state of art is more important than being in the state of Scotland or the state of Britain.
I love all those things. I don't really want to start saying I want to be Scottish or British or part of the world. I'm interested in people from all parts of the world.
So being an artist is
I love to find people from different places and be interested in them.
Okay. Well, we're going to go around the table and we've got a few more faces. What's your name?
Anne.
And?
Rosie.
And we've got Jeff, we've got Pam, we've got Catherine and Yola, and a new face over here.
I'm Tom.
Tom, well, come in a bit closer, because this has been electrically tested. Oh, is there someone behind? Come and get involved in this. What's your name?
Ellie.
And?
Pam.
Come and have a seat, come and get involved, and come and have a seat. So we're talking, Catherine's kind of more about being from Scotland. She's from arts. She's from Artland, or...
Artland.
Or, I don't know, Artopia, or something like that. But, I mean... that's her sense of belonging. And Pam's talking about her home and the view of Snowdonia, not the view, and the world as well. Yeah. So what do other people think? What do you belong to? Is really the question, I suppose, around the table. Is it about a country? Is it about an activity like art, or is it something else?
Being a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's important now.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary about the rise of feminism again.
Yeah.
Being active against Trump's decisions, and I really identified with that.
Yeah. So it's like it's like being a woman, the female half of the planet.
It's the most important thing, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's a connection. But what about those who are like on the other half? Can they identify with this?
Well,
with
I'm
feminism?
not really much interested in that.
You're not interested, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, what do other people think? What do you identify with? Do you identify with being a man, being an artist, or being? I don't know where you're from.
I don't particularly know. I'm not gender dominated. I don't think that way. I think more about.
Yeah.
What's the question actually?
I can tell you what. I can tell you the whole story. It is based on this. We've come from this painting because we started talking about this is an iconic Scottish painting, and then we were talking about what identity. What is it important to be Scottish or British or a citizen of the world, or is it something else that's more like Catherine's? Is more about her being an artist than any of those things. And then was it Anne? Anne is saying actually being female and being a woman and feminism is kind of important, and that's what I'm kind of anchoring myself to, or what I'm sort of saying, this is what I belong to, I suppose.
I think Jeff said something very interesting about being able to say I feel comfortable here, or in this, or
it's a kind of comfort zone.
Comfort zone, but that's then very specific to the person, isn't it? And we never discuss that. You could just pick your comfort zone and say, well, that's it, that's me. I feel comfortable here, or
So it's like, in a way, the question is, what's your comfort zone, I suppose, and what's your kind of place of belonging?
Well, that leads me back to art. That is my comfort zone.
Art is your comfort zone.
Yes.
Why is art your comfort zone?
Well, it feels safer than real life.
Yeah? Why is art safer than real life?
Have you looked around the world and listened to the news?
Okay,
not that art can't be political,
art is not
obviously.
in the news very much, therefore it's
well,
safer.
I suppose it is. We're back to the Monarch of the Glen. He's in the news quite often at the moment, isn't he? Is he not going to England? So he's going to be... And he is painted by an English artist, after all.
Okay, so we've got this question, art and this sense of like... It's in a way, you're kind of talking about safety there, and that sense of like... I don't know, for me, I'm an artist as well, and it's a place of imagination. But I mean, what is your comfort zone? Is it, have you got a comfort zone? Have you got a sense of belonging? Is it about country, about place, about activity, about home?
Well, I think I would never identify myself as British.
Yeah.
But I think Scottish and English people have totally different views on so many topics. So I think I would rather identify as Scottish because I believe in those values, views.
How did that come to be?
But like if you look at the independence, you look at the EU, Scotland and England are totally separate on those subjects. So I think in that way it's my comfort zone, being with people that believe the same things as me.
Okay.
And want to see Scotland go in this certain way.
Yeah.
So. Okay,
so English and Scottish people have got different views, different values, and what's...
Not all Scottish people. True.
Yeah, okay. Well, what about any English people around the table? Half English? Okay. I mean, do you think that English and Scottish people have got different views?
I don't think you can put it as broadly as that. I think individual people have different views all throughout the world. I mean, I've got a different view to my wife on various things as well. But no, I think that, I mean, what was the independence thing? It was about 40% voted to remain and 45, 55. Well, you can hardly say that's all of Scotland wanting to have a different view from all of England. And England was in the European, in the referendum, that was 48. 52.
I mean, is it going back to I think what Muriel said? Is it kind of divisive? Is it I mean, obviously we need to get conversation going here, so we need different views around the table.
I think it's highly divisive. I think like there's really interesting. Can I hold that? Because it feels a bit intimidating.
No, that's much better. That's much better. That's great. Thank you.
There's like universal truth, and those truths can be like empirically tested. And we know that to be a truth. But I think the issue comes into when you make a distinction about personal truth. And then when they can, so for instance, universal truth would be something like gravity. Gravity is a universal truth. We accept that as a law. But when it comes into personal truth about boundaries and sort of nationalism, these sort of things, I think they're very divisive, and I think we've got to be careful of that as a society.
Yeah.
Otherwise we will see rise of more Trumps, and that's exactly how that campaign's been run. So I think we've got to be careful, and I think expressing a universal truth is fine. If you can ground it in theory and back it, then that's fine. But if you start injecting your personal belief on a mass audience, I think that's an issue.
So people are sort of in a way conveying what is a personal belief as a universal truth.
Yeah, and it goes back to what you guys were saying, like, I'd rather be Scottish, and you saying, well, what is being Scottish? And then you put it into statistical analysis, you look, 40% wanted to stay, 60 don't. So that's like being Scottish, you're already split.
Yeah.
And then within that, you've got so many different sectors of society that it's like, just think.
That I was shocked because we've been arguing about Brexit, me and my friends, obviously, like we all have for the last couple of years. And I went back and looked up the statistics. Nobody ever mentions the massive chunk of people that cast no vote. Millions, and in England,
I think you're talking about the Scottish referendum as well,
60% turnout on the Brexit. You can look it up. I was shocked. I can't even believe it. So don't. Just look it up yourself. It said 18 million people in Britain who could vote are unregistered. Right. 18 million didn't turn up for any vote.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Why do you think that is? Is it because they don't know, or is it because?
I didn't used to vote when I was younger, so I wouldn't like to denigrate. I don't know why I didn't vote when I was younger. I felt I didn't have any. Now I'm 50. I'm horrified that 18 million people are not. I don't even know how we can call it a democracy or a government. I'm absolutely outraged. But nobody's on the news going, we need to register people to vote. We need to get out and register people to vote. And that's actually might be.
Okay. So
disenfranchised what's happening. They just want. I don't care, I'd rather it go to chaos, and then that is what we've seen happen in America, and it's what we've seen happen here. They'd rather see something so different, something radically different, because we know that the trusted inner sector that we see with these societies, I don't know about this one particularly, but people always quote the Clintons, but in that same light, I think, I've lost my train of thought actually just now.
Well, I mean, I guess we're talking.
Our energies on the system, and we're back to that divisive thing as well. All of us, we talk so much, myself included, 100% nationality, separation, the vote. It's only recently I've had people shouting at me at parties. It's only recently we need to broaden the dialogue.
I mean, are we focusing?
Look at the system itself. How could we even trust a referenda with that amount of people not registered to vote? Who could vote? Who should be registered?
Okay. I mean, are we focusing too much on what divides us rather than what actually unites us and what we've got in common? You think is that true? You're nodding.
Might be true. Yeah. We're all in the art gallery today.
Yeah.
We're all different.
Maybe
opinions.
we're going back to the Artopia, the country of art. That's the one thing I suppose that connects us. That we're all like art. Well, maybe we don't like it, but we're here. We're at least looking at it and thinking we might like it. What do you like art? Your sister, is that you like? Come on, join and come and have a seat on the table to chat if you want to. We have got Yola, we've got Catherine, we've got Pam, we've got Tom, that's right, and we've got Jeff, and we've got Rosie and Anne, and I'm Mikey. At the moment we're kind of talking about identity, maybe more focusing. We've got the passport, Mr. Stagg. He's from the Scottish Highlands. We've lost Anne and Rosie. Give us a final thought before you go. Oh, too late. They're up the stairs. They're gone.
Photo. I think it's really interesting how that's nature and it's beautiful and it's a lovely thing, but how we always try and recreate that. Like I study landscape architecture, and when we look at things, we look at these scenes and we try and replicate it. But this depicts raw natural beauty. Well, in a sort of in a glorified light, but at the same time, we're always trying to replicate nature, and I think that's really important.
Okay. I mean, do you look at that and go, "Wow, that's an amazing replication of nature"?
No, I don't. No. I think it's highlighted. Obviously, they've no background is ever like that. There's never such a proud-looking stag in its whole life. Like the light on its face. So I think it's been glorified, but there's no harm in that. I think that's a good thing. But I think looking at this picture, I instantly think that is just stunning and it's natural and it's beautiful. But then you go into terms of what is nature. But I think in this case, we are trying to replicate it. It's such an enormous media that we're always trying to replicate, or try and do photography or try and that's not a good example that side, but more this side, the landscape behind. So I think that's it's core to our identity.
Okay, so this sense of like trying to encompass nature, trying to replicate nature is part of, I guess, this, you know, what art is about, I suppose. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. Give us a final thought before you go.
I think this is very typical of its time, 1851, glorified, idealised landscape, walking in nature and everything. But I think we have much more in common than apart, generally.
I mean, something like that connection to nature is, I suppose, a kind of unifying factor in a way, because we've, yeah.
So I like your art, Utopia. It sounds lovely.
Yeah. I'm going to get a Artopia passport as well, I think. Maybe Mr. Stagg will want one as well. Have you got a final thought, Tom?
Same as my mum. This is my mum. So yeah, same as her. Like, there's more that we're interested in together, and we can do a lot of things together if we find those sort of common language. Yeah. And I think art can be one of those. I think there's many ways of doing that. Yeah, I think there's...
Any other suggestions about how we can get more of a connection, more of a unity and less divisiveness?
I think just... that's a good question.
Yeah.
Communicating with each other.
Okay. I'll give you the mic in a minute. We're getting a final thought from communication.
Yeah, I've just got off the train from Wales, and Tom's come to find me in the art gallery.
A 4-day working week.
Yeah.
4-day working week.
Okay, so less work as well.
The thing about like our personal interest, if you look at like the major companies in the world, or NASA, or these things, people's interest, so personal interest, when they come into a business or something like that, that innovation of that knowledge coming in, they can create something new. If we were given an extra day, it's saying an extra day off, we would actually follow our passion far more. We'd learn more in that time. Most of us would, I think.
So almost like a passion day.
Yeah, kind of. Because realistically, you've got 5 days a week. It's a solid week. You Saturday you rest up. Sunday you do. Exactly. It's proven. But I think. Yeah. Then we go into the whole thing about capitalism and all the wheel and all this stuff. So it's where we are.
Yeah, I don't think, but it sounds, as a final thought, we probably don't have time to go into that. But we can if you want to, Okay. Okay. Well, thanks very much for getting involved.
I think being involved is really important, whatever you do.
Well, I would certainly say that. Being involved, being engaged. Okay, so there's some real food for thought there about how to connect ourselves, communication, 4-day working week. Thanks very much. And possibly the end of capitalism as well, as we know it. So where do we go from here? What do we want to talk about? Anything we want to take from that?
I think that communication, yes, but communication of different views, just like you're doing around the table here, because nobody has got everything right. If every one of us will probably have a different view. No, not one of them is right, 100%. There's bits of everybody else that have got something to say that's relevant and we could actually learn from. And, and I think that's the most important thing around. So to work together but respect other people's points of view.
So it's, in a way, it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle of like fitting together the best bits of everyone's outlook into.
That's right. Yeah. That's
okay.
Right. Anyway, I've got to go.
All right. Well, that was a perfect final thought in a way. I can't really ask for another one from that. But thanks very much, Jeff. Where do we go from there? I mean, we've kind of done it now with our Artopia, connecting people, kind of, anti-national nation. So we go home now. I guess we've got to keep the chat flowing, keep going. What we really need is some new. Maybe we can go through. Hello, bye-bye. So maybe it's time to look at some of the pictures because sorry, Rick, we've been ignoring you because we're getting a bit heavy there. But I think I think after talking about animals all morning, we had to move into something a bit more, a bit more kind of deep in the afternoon. So we've got the stag passport.
Truncated antlers, I noticed. Does this mean that some of his power has been taken away, that his antlers have been clipped?
Clipped by the state? Or is it
this
more...
This is a question, Mike.
Yeah. By the photo. I mean, would that get away? Because you know how difficult they are at the passport office these days. Would that photograph be acceptable?
No.
Also, it's not...
No full frontal view, and one of his eyes isn't open properly.
Yeah, they would send that back, I reckon. I don't think they would give that as a passport, because there's a few...
He's now no longer a 12-pointer. I mean, he's now only a 3-pointer.
Yeah. But nevertheless, let's not get picky about...
Is it the 12 points that makes it a royal stag?
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Oh, like the apostles. Ah, thank you. I didn't know that. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. No.
Okay, you're on the...
Thank you.
We have got a full version of the image, just so we can see all 12 points of the antlers. Here we are. There we go. There we go. We've got a lot of zooming in on the face there. Yeah. Okay, so, hello. Come and take a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkaoke. It's a pop-up talk show. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about, and everyone's invited. Yes, that's you. You're very welcome. Come along. We have got Catherine, we've got Yola and Mikey. Come and take a seat. Don't be shy. No, you're not gonna go for it. Oh, well, maybe next time. Maybe next time. Come. We're only here once a year. That's. Yeah.
I suggest that this is actually the Elvis of the stag world.
Yeah? Why do you say that?
Because he looks like he's got a slightly quivering lip, and he's so majestic, and he is kingly. So he's a king. He's the monarch.
Okay,
he's
Elvis is the king.
So the monarch of the Glen is the Elvis of the stag world.
Okay.
That's my starter for 10.
Okay, did you hear that one?
No, please repeat.
Catherine has said that the monarch of the Glen is the Elvis of the stag world.
Correct.
Correct?
I think that's probably correct.
Yeah.
It is the Elvis. He is the Elvis.
Because it's kind of got a swagger. I think the word is swagger, really.
Tremendous swagger.
Yeah.
Tremendous swagger.
Okay, how do you get a stag with such swagger is the question on the table at the moment. And I guess we could move it. Was the painter of the Monarch of the Glen the Elvis of the 19th century art world? Was he the Elvis of the day?
He was considered a very attractive personality, and he was a bit of a puck. He was described as being impish, puckish.
Oh,
really? He had a glimmer in his eye.
Yeah.
He was a wonderful painter, but people were delighted to have him in their house because he was a wonderful showman. He was a great conversationalist, and he'd do tricks like he would draw simultaneously. So one with his left hand, one with his right hand, caricatures of the other people in the room.
Wow.
Things like that.
That is a good party trick.
Yeah, it is a good party trick.
Yeah, I could give that a go, but I don't think it'll come out very well.
Let's say he was a proper artist.
He was a proper artist, yeah. Do we get proper artists like that these days? That's the question.
But they don't.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people that can still draw and do things like that, but I'm not sure we're interested as a society in that. It's moved on, just like everything else.
So we're not really valuing draftsmanship.
No. Don't we? Because of computers and robots and technology.
Yeah, and for I guess photographs as well, because you could just take. I guess the contemporary equivalent would be to take 2 iPhone pictures at the same time.
Pictures.
Yeah.
Or text simultaneously, one with each hand, and create a tune. That could be the new artist trick.
Okay.
Possibly.
Okay, so.
You need a medal. You've been here all day. The painting's looking fantastic.
Come and take a seat. This is Talkaoke. We need you, basically. So we have got Yola, we have got Catherine, and we've got
Zoe.
Zoe, and what's your name?
Tom.
I mean, this is Talkaoke. It's a free-form talk show. We're seeking to visualise some of the ideas based on this painting. But right now, we're talking about this artist who was, what was his name?
Sir Edwin Landseer.
And he could apparently draw with both hands at the same time and do 2 caricatures of different people at a party at the same time. Yola's suggesting that the contemporary equivalent of that would be to be able to take 2 iPhone pictures or send 2 text messages at the same time. Is that true? Do we value drawing anymore? Have we moved on? That's what. Yeah, you think it's a bit rough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do better than that.
We can do better. What would it be then? What's your party
I just arrived.
trick?
I got to think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe we could go around.
I just noticed there are people out there who draw beautifully. There are artists out there who still make a living from drawing absolutely exquisitely, but they don't make it to great big blockbuster exhibitions or galleries. They're appreciated but not rated as something modern or contemporary. I've noticed that. It's not that we don't value the skill, it's just somehow doesn't excite us in a kind of money-making, new name type of artistic.
It's not the centre of artistic practice anymore like it used to be. Okay. So drawing in a way is, or the ability to draw amazingly, isn't at the centre.
If somebody painted this now, exactly like this, and it's a beautiful, beautiful painting, how would we react to that now?
Okay.
Yeah.
What's that?
It would be overlooked, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know. We got a bit heady, I think.
Yeah. So we're thinking about stuff too much.
Conceptual.
Yeah. Can you draw? Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We have got, we've got Yola, we've got Catherine, we have got Zoe. Was it Mark? Tom. I was half. I got at least the number of syllables right. We got Tom. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. My name's Mikey. What's your name?
Fern.
Fern.
What a lovely name.
And
Metro.
And what's your name?
Walla.
What is it?
Walla.
Walla.
No.
No, Willow. Orla. It has been a long day. Orla. Okay. Okay. So we've got Orla. What was it again?
Metro. Mitchell.
Okay. And then we've got Tom, and we have got Fern, that's right, of course, yeah. And Zoe, and I'm normally better at this, to be honest. But, in a way, actually, my name's Mikey, my party trick is actually, believe it or not, remembering people's names, because I normally can remember people's names. And the artist that painted this, his party trick was to draw 2 people at the same time with both of his hands, which is quite good drawing, I would say. But I guess the discussion on the table now is, do we really rate people that can draw? And, is that what art is about these days? Do you draw, Orla?
Yes.
Are you good at drawing?
Yes.
Do people appreciate it?
Yes.
Oh, so you get appreciated. Okay. What about you? Do you draw, Mitchell?
Yeah.
Do people appreciate it? Yeah? Okay.
What sort of drawing do you do, Mitchell?
More or less realistic, like figurative, figure drawings and all that.
Tom is kind of saying that art. Do you look at like modern art or contemporary art of these days? Do you think it's any good, Orla, Mitchell?
I think they're kind of the old versions of art were better than the newer versions.
Yeah. Why?
Because the older versions are very. How could you say it? They're full of people, and nowadays they're just a bunch of.
Yeah. So now there's less stuff going on in the piece of art, I suppose. Okay. Have you got a view on this, Fern?
What?
Do you draw?
Sometimes.
Do people like your drawings?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you like the paintings here more than new art, or do you prefer the more modern stuff?
I like new art because it's more interesting. There's just one thing I don't like art-wise. I don't like printing. That's boring.
Okay, you don't like printing. Why is it boring?
Because everyone's always you need to do this, and then when you don't do it properly, it's really everyone gets annoyed, and then you need to start again, and then your print breaks.
Okay, so there's too much procedure and too much danger of it going wrong.
I don't have patience either.
Okay, so you need a lot of patience. But are we less patient these days? Yeah?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think about this question that Mitchell brought up, that the older art is actually better than the newer art because it's got more stuff in it?
I would say why.
You'd say?
Oh, more stuff in it.
Yeah.
More stuff in it. What stuff?
What stuff? People, animals, landscapes, I think you're talking about, weren't you? Yeah. Whereas you prefer the newer art, don't you?
Yeah, I like things that are more blocky stuff.
Yeah.
Like, not blocky stuff, like more brighter things.
Can you think of a piece of art that you've seen that you like?
I like still life.
Still life, yeah? Okay. Any particular still life?
I can't remember any people.
Okay. Okay, all right, so we've got different people like different art. I mean, I guess that's inevitable. Earlier on, actually, we were talking about how people are different and what they like. But, I mean, are we appreciating the right kind of art? Is it all, you know, Yola started this all off by saying, if you had a painter like this today, they would be kind of overlooked because no one would really pay that much attention. What do you think? Do you agree with that? Excuse me, come. Yeah.
The Banksy.
The what?
The Banksy that was recently sold, that shredded. What did you think about that?
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about it, for maybe people don't know.
Well, Banksy did this this picture. I think it's a boy in a balloon, and
Yeah.
it was sold at Christie's for $1 million. And when it went under the hammer, the minute it went under the hammer, it self-destroyed.
Yeah.
It shredded, self-shredded.
Did they get the money back, the people that bought it?
Now it's worth $1.5 million.
So it's gone up in value by self-shredding?
The woman who bought it says she wants to keep it because it's gone up in value.
Oh, wow, okay. Okay, I mean...
What do you think about that?
Well, I'm going to, you know, in a way, I could turn the mirror and ask, you know, I'm going to ask people what they think. What do you think about that?
Well, I just think it's a shame because it's just kind of commercialised art. For me, that wasn't a beautiful picture, personally. Yeah. And the fact that it's because it's being destroyed, it's worth more, that seems to me, it's like it's just become a commercial asset, not a thing of beauty for me.
Okay, so it's not about beauty. Are we moving away from beauty in that sense?
Well, yes, my concept of beauty,
What do other people think? Have you heard of this story of this self-destroying art? What do you think of it?
It's cool.
You think it's cool? Yeah? Okay. Is it a thing of beauty, something that destroys itself?
Probably yes.
Probably yes, okay. Mitchell, have you got a view on it?
Not really, because I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, but I mean, it didn't really pique your... You didn't think anything of it, really? It's just not really your thing. Okay. Tom?
I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah?
Like,
is it a thing of beauty?
A bit of a comment on, like you were saying, on the commercialization of it. But he's trying to, you know, taking...
But it's a 1.5...
Yeah.
It's a £1.5 million comment. Is it worth that much, this comment?
I thought it was interesting that it happened after she bought it.
Mm.
Yes.
So it's beyond him, you know?
Yeah.
It's got nothing, it's not making him any more money. It's actually making her more money.
Yeah. But in a way, it's about this kind of, you know, it's a comment, I suppose, on the value, or is it a comment on the value?
It's interesting.
Yeah. Come on. Ola, pass the microphone.
Is it a bit like a statement KLF made when they burnt £1 million?
Yeah.
And that's in the music world, and Banksy's doing it in the art world.
Yeah, okay. So the KLF...
That, isn't it? I think it's interesting because of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why, like, it's more money if it's shredded, because it's just destroyed, and then, like, everything's just going to disappear. Why isn't, like, it more money when it's just a hole? Because it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But does art even make sense? Does it make sense? Why did they burn £1 million? What was that about? Well, come and sit down. Don't be shy. Let's give Dad a round of applause. Come on.
It's about publicity.
Yeah.
Shocking. It's the shock factor.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened with Banksy. It's a shock factor.
I mean, do you think that means we've kind of lost our way a little bit and we should be focusing more on the kind of core skill?
Moving with the times.
Yeah.
Moving with the times. So it's...
So that's what today's culture is about, really.
No, it's being different.
Okay, so in a way, that is more of a reflection of today's culture, that it's about more of a quick thing and more about the promotion and publicity and this kind of thing. I mean, any thoughts on this? What do you think of this Banksy thing? Do you know about it? Have you heard about it?
Yes. Well, it's kind of... You could expect he might do something like that. I mean, it's just fits in with his kind of...
What about this? Because you're an expert on Sir Edwin Landseer.
I really, really hope nobody goes and shreds the Monarch of the Glen, because if they do, I'll be utterly devastated.
Did he destroy any of his paintings?
Well, not that I know of, but I'm sure that he would have destroyed some paintings if he wasn't happy with them. But I don't think he would have I can't imagine he would have destroyed it after one of his patrons bought it at great expense. It's the last thing. Queen Victoria just paid for one of his paintings and then destroyed it.
Would Queen Victoria go, oh wow, what a concept? Or do you think, would Queen Victoria kind of like get their thing? If Queen Victoria was around now and bought the Banksy, how would she feel if it's self-shredded?
She would not be amused.
Okay, so where are we going to go with this? Do we want to talk about art today? Is it more about, Dad, what's your name?
James.
James says it's more about like it's more of an instant thing. It's more about commenting on the society. It's more about the culture. It sort of makes sense for now. But have we lost our way? I feel like Yola is kind of saying we're kind of valuing the wrong thing.
With like art, it used to just be piece of paper, paints.
Yeah.
Brush, canvas, paint, but now there's like different forms of art, like there's spray paint, there's watercolour, like, but ages and ages ago it was just like some kind of paints and stuff like that, but there's now like different kinds, like there's spray paint, makeup, body art, and like other stuff.
Do you think that makes it more rich to have all these different?
It makes it like more interesting, because you're not just seeing like the same thing on a piece of, it's not the same thing, but so many pictures are just so similar.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the same thing, but like, if you look at them too, like, it's got like, they've got people in them and a plain background. Like, you're pretty much just seeing the same photo over and over again.
Okay, so it can get a bit repetitive in a way. Okay, so we've got a richer, more diverse kind of set of art now. We've got more stuff going on. It's not just...
Does the art world don't like new art because there's a bit of snobbery in the art world?
You think there's a bit of snobbery?
Whereas Banksy is more sort of...
Street?
Yep.
Okay. Well, this is a good question. James is saying there's a bit of snobbery in the art world. Maybe, is it about that? Is it because of snobbery that we...
We've got a Scottish painter that was most subjected to that, and that's Jack Vetriano, who the art world absolutely hates and says is not a proper painter.
Who's Jack Vetriano?
He's a famous Scottish painter, still alive.
Rick, can we get an image of Jack Vetriano on the screen?
Can we get an image of Jack Vetriano as the monarch of the Glen on the screen?
Right, let's not make it too hard for him.
I think that whole snobbery about art's quite interesting, because it's things that are... Jack Vetriano is a really popular painter. People love him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What do people think about this? Hang on a sec, Yola, let me just spread this out to do you think the art world is there's a bit of snobbery going on? And how does it kind of manifest itself? What's snobbery?
Yeah.
Okay, snobbery, what do you mean by snobbery?
Snobbery as in the perfectionists in the sense that it's what we define as art. As far as you're concerned, that's it. There's a line.
Yeah. So in a way, it's like there's a kind of battle, and that if people want to kind of fence it off. This is art. This isn't art. So then they're kind of looking down on people that are, not part of their definition of art. Tom, you're kind of nodding. Do you think there's snobbery in the art world?
Yeah, I think it's pretty. It could be seen as a bit incestuous as well.
But what do you mean incestuous?
Well, like friends putting up friends.
Yeah.
That person's my friend, therefore I'm going to put them in my gallery and have a show for them.
So it's a little bit closed in a way.
Yeah.
And is that why Jack Vetriano... Is it Vetriano or Vitriano?
Yeah, that's right, Vetriano.
Jack Vetriano, has he got no friends in the art world? And is that why people look down on him?
Listen, Jack Vetriano is making a very, very good living. He's having many, many exhibitions. I don't think he's sitting crying in a garret somewhere.
I'd like to get a picture of it.
Let's have a picture of... All I'm saying is let's have a picture so you can see Vetriano.
Okay.
He copied the pictures out of them. Is that right? They say...
Photographs, like Francis Bacon did.
Yeah.
He taught himself to paint, I think, using art books, and copied them.
Like Francis Bacon did.
Okay.
Exactly the same.
Okay, so we've got one successful artist, but he's not successful in the eyes of the art world, and that's been seen as a kind of snobbery, because only certain art is considered to be... is there anybody here from the National Gallery of Scotland? Here? Yes. No? Yes? Do you think there is... what do you think... I know it's a tricky question levelled at you, but is there snobbery in the art world when it comes to the National Gallery of...
Well, I think there is. Not necessarily here, but within the art world, because there's an art market. And that's inevitable, I think, because there's so much money involved in it, and people and patronage and so on.
Yeah. Let me get a final thought from Orla before you go. What's your final thought? Do you think you'll become an artist? You seem to be quite into it and quite appreciated.
Yes, I do.
Are you worried about being appreciated? Are you worried about getting into the right circles when it comes to being a successful artist?
Not really.
No? So what is it about for you? Is it just about making your work?
Just about being happy and making my work and what I want to do, basically.
Oh, okay, so being happy is more important. Okay.
I taught Orla how to draw a head when she was younger.
Okay, so you were there at the very beginning.
Because she used to draw them as triangles.
Okay. Okay. Mitchell, have you got a final thought?
I think you should be able to do whatever kind of art you like, and that as long as you enjoy it, you're allowed to do any thing.
Do you see yourself as becoming an artist in the future?
Maybe, kind of. I don't know.
You're not sure. You're sitting on the fence at this point. What else could it be rather than an artist? What else are you considering?
A doctor.
A doctor. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You off as well? Fern, give us a final thought.
I think that I don't know.
I mean, what do you think about this whole art thing? Are we taking it too seriously?
It's all the same. Like, people just take it too seriously all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, why do they take it so seriously?
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe we should ask... It's another thing to ask the art institution, why are we taking this so seriously? We're just pictures on the wall. Final thought, James, Dad?
I think Banksy's been a great thing for the art world because he's made people realise you can go outside the boundaries and do what you want to do and call it art.
Okay, so literally outside of the box.
Yes.
Okay, so it's kind of, given the art world a little bit of a kick. We've just got thank you. Is this Jack Vetriano? It's yeah. Would it be worth more of it? It depends. I think if you could get Banksy to shred it, then perhaps it would be worth more.
I don't care about its monetary worth. That would be a horrendous thing.
Okay. Yeah.
It is the monetary worth that drives.
Yeah.
At the moment, yeah.
I mean, does it matter how much it's? Does it? What's that?
All industries the same. All big industries the same.
In the end, it comes to money.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Landseer was really commercial. He was really switched on about making money from his art. I mean, he was a serious artist, but then he made money through the print trade, didn't he?
Okay.
It was really clever of him.
Okay, so we've got this is Monica. But yeah. I mean, this is. So this is the Monarch of the Glen shredded.
The conversation was supposed to go.
Well, who brought in the shredding? Come and have a seat. Come and get involved on the table of chat. This is Talkaoke. It's a free-form talk show. Right, everyone's invited. Right now, we're kind of talking about art and the question about, this is like... Yeah, we're kind of, in a way, we've kind of morphed Banksy with the one that we're supposed to be talking about. Right. We don't have to talk about this. But, it's a kind of contrast of styles, really, here that we've got between Banksy and Edwin Landseer. And I guess we kind of move on to this question about, is the art world kind of snobbish? Is there an in-crowd and an out-crowd? Come and have a seat on the table of chat. Are we too concerned with the value of the work and the monetary value, and rather than thinking about, what we think is just simply a good picture or not? So we've got Yola, we've got Catherine, we've got Zoe, we've got Tom. What's your name?
Ian.
And?
Rado.
Eduardo?
Rado, yeah, Rado.
Rado?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm Mikey. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. So, what do you think? Do you think that we're too worried about how much something's worth and not worried enough about, what it looks like or what it's making us feel?
Well, is there a value put on the Monarch of the Glen? Like Banksy's fetched 1 million plus.
Okay. What's the value of the Monarch of the Glen?
Well, I think it was up for sale, and it was valued. Well, it should be Zoe's answering this really, but it was valued around about £10 million. But
Right.
it was offered for sale to the National Galleries at a reduced price by Diageo for £5 million.
Okay, so it was half price.
Half price.
Okay.
It was was it a knockdown sale, or was it being gracious to the nation?
Okay. So 5 million is what but it was valued at 10 million. I don't really understand that.
It's interesting. It's just what somebody puts a price on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you ever watch Fake or Fortune, one of my favourite TV shows?
I don't watch
You
TV.
don't? Oh,
no.
well, it's very interesting about the art world and about selling art and the value of art. And
Yeah.
the curators think it's terrible, but I love it.
Okay. Okay, so it's like your kind of guilty secret in a way. Yeah.
But the thing was, if it was 10 million, then somebody may well have bought it, and it would have gone abroad out of the country, so we would have lost it. So it was a national. It leads us back to the national thing,
Yeah.
to save it for the nation and
Okay.
for the collection and for the people.
Okay. What do people think? Was it worth the money, the 5 million to spend? What have you seen the painting, Rado?
I think it's that one, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 million?
In my opinion, it's quite a lot.
You think it's a lot of money?
Yeah, I mean, I do understand that culture means money and it's worth it, but in my opinion, it's quite a lot.
Say that again, sorry?
So, in my opinion, it deserves culture to have more money, but in my opinion, to give that much money for a painting, it's quite a lot.
Okay, so more money to culture, but not necessarily 5 million to a painting.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What did they pay for it?
Okay, what did Diageo, the company,
I
pay?
suppose that's what they paid. They lost the 5. Well,
They
Yeah. Okay.
discounted the price, so they gave us some in effect. It was a part gift.
How much did they buy it
they
for?
would have, yes, because if they'd sold it on the open market, they'd have got 10. So they gave it, part of it, to the country.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a big fundraising campaign. I mean, and we had, a lot of people contributed, a lot of individual people contributed small amounts of money, and we got, big funding from the Scottish Government, the Heritage Lottery Fund, the Art Fund.
What did you do with $5 million instead?
Okay, I mean, what would you like to do with that money?
Oh, I'm not going there, but.
But I mean,
Well,
do you think it's a good?
From a cultural perspective, what could you do?
Well, I think that's what Rado is saying, is that spend the money on culture, but should it be on a historic painting, or should it be? What would you spend the 5?
Yeah, so I would just encourage other people to do something with the art. I mean, if you have this copy, it could help us.
Okay, so you could go down the photocopiers and spend £1 on this, and then you've got 4,999,999 to spend on other artists. I think what you're saying, like contemporary artists.
Yeah, like students and funding in the schools maybe and universities and stuff.
Would that be a better expenditure? What do you think? Sorry, what's your name again? Sorry.
Ian.
Ian, what do you think, Ian? Have you got?
I think this is a great investment for Scotland because I'm a tourist. I didn't come here to see the Monarch of the Glen, but if I came into an empty room just filled with a few photocopies, I probably wouldn't encourage other people to come.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I mean, just look, comparing it to the Banksy, if you just pay the guy by the hour, it took him more than 20 minutes to create that, where Banksy probably spray painted his girl with a balloon in half an hour. So this is hours and hours of work.
And you just also mentioned the word investment in the sense that is going to still be worth 5 or 10 million or more maybe in the future. So it's a kind of investment for the nation.
Well, it's obviously very symbolic of Scottish pride, nationalism. I understand Scotland didn't vote to separate from England, but that was the first time around. And, you know, for the British government, how much they spend on the royal family, but they get 10 times back in tourism and everything.
Okay, so
cost-benefit-wise, it's probably a great
investment.
Yeah.
Okay. It goes so far beyond the monetary. We don't really talk about the cultural value.
Well, we're talking about it now.
Huge.
Yeah.
And all these people who are here today, I don't think they come here because of the monetary value. They come here because they appreciate the art, the beauty, the setting, and which isn't that wonderful that we do that as a society, that we just provide this beautiful place where people come and look at beauty, for free. Doesn't that say about us as a society what we value?
Okay, I mean,
I'm glad that we do, you know, and I'm glad we live in a country that does that, and that it's so democratised.
Any views from this side of the table? What do you think? I mean, do you see it as an investment?
No, I don't see it like an investment. In my opinion, I hope it's not going to be an investment. I hope the prices in art is going to get lower, in my opinion, because there are lots of things that deserve more money, not this.
What, like what? Give us an example.
Like there are lots of problems in the world, rather than spend 5 minutes on something about, I know it's worth it. I know it's worth it, like not money, but like value, you know. But don't deserve to give money on it, you know. It have a value, but not money, you know what I mean? So
okay. I mean,
the money should be spent somewhere else, and I hope it's not investment. It means that I hope that in the future people are not going to spend money just to have this in their home and stuff like that. And one more thing to say, for example, in the London Museum, I know that they have like lots of replication, for example, from Rome and stuff like that. So yeah, it's nice to come to as a tourist, but you can see like a replication.
Okay.
So it's
well, let's
Tourists know that it's not the real thing.
Okay, well maybe we should ask Ian, because I mean, if you came with a whole load of facsimiles of famous paintings, would it feel the same if you kind of had famous paintings from around the world that were just copies?
Well, apparently, I don't know the full details, but wealthy individuals, I heard Bill Gates has digital screens in his fancy home in Seattle where he does replicate. Yeah, and he puts up like a revolving display of the world, and they're saying virtual reality now is coming, so maybe people will be drifting through here virtually from the four corners of the world. But having something real, I mean, John Berger, the art historian, talked a lot about this in his book Ways of Seeing, where, you know, what is the value of a real object versus a facsimile. And I think the thing about the Banksy is you've got a difference between the private collectors who are, you know, spending money on something, bidding it up, versus a national gallery, which is part of the heritage of the country where it's based.
Okay.
And I'm sure that if the national galleries could afford to buy a Banksy, they would be buying one as well. So I don't think they would rule out a Banksy as well as the Landseer. It just wouldn't be in the same gallery.
I mean, what about, in a way...
Well, it might be, mind you.
I think
there might be an intervention.
Just going back to Rado, slightly uncomfortable with the idea of aesthetic value against monetary value. I think that's kind of what you're saying, that things we appreciate art and we appreciate beauty, but when it comes to valuing it monetarily, it's a bit... Okay, here's Jack Vetriano, not very popular in the art world, popular with collector.
The people.
Yeah.
Very popular.
I mean...
A bit naughty.
Yeah, I mean, is it just uncomfortable when we talk about monetary value versus aesthetic value? Is it a conversation we need to have, or is it just something we should just kind of put to one side and just go in and appreciate the art? What do people think? I mean, is it a conversation, you know, is it something that I should be, not that I would do this, because my values as Talkaoke is we talk about whatever people want to talk about, but, you know, should we be suppressing this discussion, or should we be getting it out there in the open, I guess is the question. Is it an important discussion to have, or is it just deflecting from the actual real discussion about art and other stuff? What do people think?
I think we should be opening up a discussion about it, because we're a place that says, what do you think? We're not telling people what to think. That's the whole point of it, for me.
Then you can take your own thing to it, right?
Yeah, so we should be talking about it. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I'm just confused because, like, in a way, I kind of agree with everybody around the table, even though their views don't agree with each other. If that makes sense. So, you know, I'm agreeing with you. I think 5 million. Would you really spend it if you had that money to spend on the world? Would you really spend it on one painting? But at the same time, you're valuing our.
We're not Scottish. I mean, he's from Scotland. We're not Scottish, so we don't have that.
Yeah.
There's not the national pride.
Should we ask? Are there any Scottish people around?
Equivalent then be of something like this? Yeah.
Where are you from?
Australian?
Yeah.
A rampant kangaroo, maybe.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't know. There would be an equivalent, and they would pay it, probably.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't be like, pay for it.
Okay. I mean, would it be controversial to spend that kind of money?
Well, there's a whole different story. You know, there's the colonial side of things, and I would say definitely don't spend the money on that. I'd say there's
right. Okay.
You know, there would be indigenous art that probably is worth $5 million. But
colonial art
more
versus
than likely
indigenous
not worth $5 million, where perhaps it should be. You know.
Okay. All good points. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. Ian, before you go, give us a final thought before you go.
Well, it's wonderful to see so much activity in this gallery with all the kids doing their whatever they're doing with the Legos to recreate the Monarch of the Glen. I've never seen anything like that before, and never expected to have a microphone put in my face. But it's very entertaining. I'm sure. I don't know if this is going out live on Radio Scotland.
It's not going out live, but although I think you were on Radio Scotland. Yeah. Yeah, you were talking about what people were talking about, I suppose.
That's great. Well, good luck with everything.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you all. Well, I live in California, but I grew up in Cheshire, so I'm an immigrant too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for visiting. And I mean, are you off as well?
Yeah, I have to go also.
Give us a final thought.
Yeah, so in my opinion, the art is valuable, but maybe because I'm not an artist or I'm not very enthusiastic about it, you know. So maybe
Where are you from?
I'm from Romania.
From Romania. Do they spend a lot of money on art, or do they? Have they got a national
pretty much the same. We used to have like a sculpture from
Brancusi.
Yeah, you know it. So it was like half of it was like paid by the government, half of it by the citizenship, but they didn't collect all the money, so we didn't buy it.
Okay, so you wanted to get hold of this sculpture?
No, so I'm truly think that maybe it's a good point to have it, but also it's a lot of money, so it's kind of debatable, you know.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it is your heritage, but why does it cost so much money?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's also important to have the heritage. Yeah, that's the word, but it's lots of money in the middle.
Okay, so we've got a new face. Thank you, Rado. Mulțumesc.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Tim Zen.
What was it?
Tim Zen.
Tim Zen. We've got Tom, we've got Zoe, we've got Catherine and Yola, and I'm Mikey. At the moment, we're kind of talking about this value of art. Is it worth investing in this national heritage of Britain, of Scotland? Is it a good investment? Is it something? And how does the kind of aesthetic value of a piece of art does it fit with the monetary value, or is it something completely different? And how do we we've got Tom here from Australia, we had someone from America and someone from Romania, all with different views, I guess, about this national collection and what goes in there. Is there a Jack Vetriano work in the Scottish National Collection? And should there be? No. Should there be? This is some of the questions that we're... So that's kind of some of the. Have you got a view on this? Have you seen this painting?
Yes, I have.
Do you think it's a good investment for the nation?
I think it is. It's a symbol of unity, really, which is missing these days.
When you say it's why is it a symbol of unity?
Well, it's a real thing. People in Scotland can relate to the subject, and they feel it's belonging to them. This place belongs to the Scottish people.
So in a way it makes this place more Scottish?
I think so.
Okay, so it's a...
Proud. It made this painting, a lot of the feedback we've had is makes me feel proud, makes me feel proud to be Scottish, makes me feel proud to be British, makes me feel part of the world community. This painting really affects people.
Okay.
Yeah. And not all positive, but the vast majority is positive.
Anyone say it makes me feel thirsty? Anyway, but okay, so we're talking about the Monarch of the Glen, which is highly appropriate, as this is what we're really here to do for once. Maybe we can just quickly go through some of Rick's visualizations while we're here. So we've actually got a real live artist, just like Jack Vetriano, behind this screen. The other thing is he's very, very quick. And he's been visualizing ideas all day. Can we go from the very beginning, Rick? Is that okay? Okay, well, in the meantime, I'm just going to fill in with some conversation, and that's certainly an invitation. Come and have a seat on the table of chat, because we're going to be closing up here and going in the van back to London pretty soon.
Face to face with nature.
Yeah, we're going to be experiencing nature on the way down. Come and have a seat, because we've only got a few minutes left. What's your name?
Jeff.
Jeff. So a lot of the we're at the very beginning here. So I'll just explain. It's a free-form talk show. And we're kind of here because of this painting, but we've been talking about all sorts of things today. And we've had Rick that's been visualizing the ideas as we go along. And maybe it's just quickly time to go through. So the first thing was about being face-to-face with a live stag. Has anyone been face-to-face with a live animal, apart from a dog? There's a lot of the kids said I've been face to face with the dog. Let's move through. This is the Monarch of the beach. This is actually Leith Beach, and the dolphins are. It's obviously on a warm day, and this, could the dolphin be more of a national symbol? Why is it that we look at the stag and we think Scotland when we've got a lot of Scottish dolphins? They don't get a look in, which led to next one. What animal should represent Scotland? And we had all sorts of different things from the Loch Ness Monster to the unicorn, which is actually the official symbol of Scotland, to the bee, to the midge, the slow worm, yes. So let's move on. This is the idea that we should reintroduce wolves to keep tabs on those deer. You don't agree with that? Okay, well, we probably don't have time to discuss it anymore, but maybe we could. Reintroducing the lynx. Could you have the Scottish lynx?
I thought they'd found some Scottish lynxes. I thought they'd been
possibly
reintroduced from abroad.
Possibly, but I think they want to expand that as to have more predators out there. You're not so sure.
Grey squirrels, for instance.
Yeah. Okay, reintroducing things. Is it such a good idea? You say no?
Save the red squirrel. I think that's what we need to do.
Okay, well, anyway, hang on a sec. Let's just park that chat for a second, because we're going to go through some more visualizations. And this is what, but should humans actually be sealed off in domes to let nature do its thing? Instead of fencing off nature, should we be fencing off ourselves? Give us a final thought before you go, Tom.
What?
Anything. What are you thinking as you leave?
Oh, I gotta go.
Okay.
Sorry.
When you've got to go, you've got to go.
Is it like being face to face with a stag? It's you see, and then suddenly the stag just off. Red squirrel.
Red squirrel all the way.
Okay, a red squirrel person there. Let's just go through some more of these visualizations. The last wolf of Scotland. In 1714, the death of the last wolf of Scotland was celebrated. And should there be a film about it? Starring Kevin Costner. Okay, this is it's interpreted in different ways by different people, but this is kind of like almost like a timeshare animal of Scotland. Spin the wheel and get different animals out there. But some Chinese people saw this as a kind of Scottish wheel of zodiac. So it could be that as well. That's the thing about art, you can look at it in different ways. This is the unicorn of the Glen. Should we spend that 5 million on the unicorn of the Glen, as that is the animal of Scotland? You paint it.
If you give me 5 million.
Well, I was trying to get obviously I would take a small commission, but I was trying to get the gallery to commission Rick to do it. Build up Rick's, but Rick could do something. Anyway, later we'll talk about that later. Business later.
We've all got our own idea about unicorns.
Yeah.
So it's quite personal.
Okay, so
whereas
it's not.
a stag's a stag. A unicorn is everything.
Okay, so unicorns are kind of a bit more personal. This is the eagle over Edinburgh. More animals of Scotland, I suppose, and iconic animals. This is the chained unicorn, because apparently the national unicorn is chained and imprisoned by the Scottish royal family. So there's a bit of that going on.
A good place to see unicorns is in Stirling Castle.
Okay.
Tapestries, the story of the unicorn.
Yeah.
I recommend everybody goes to see that.
Okay. Well, I wish we had you here. I wish we had you here earlier on.
Do you live there? No, but I visited quite a lot.
Anyway, let's moving on to the next, to some of these other visualizations. This is the Loch Ness Monster, the Loch Ness Monster of the Loch, instead of the Monarch of the Glen. Should we spend the 5? Come and have the Monarch of the Loch, yeah?
Monarch of the Loch.
This is the Monarch of the Loch.
And we can tell that you're not Scottish because you've got Loch.
Well, if you didn't know before. Guess what? I'm not Scottish, just like Edwin Landseer. I've come up from London. Come and have a seat. Absolutely love Scotland. So come and have a seat. We've got 5 minutes left, so now's your chance before we get back in the van and go back down to London. Let's move through. This is, I think it speaks for itself. And as you said, it's a personal animal, the unicorn. This is the kind of robot monarch of the Glen. This is the future that the Terminator monarch of the Glen. We don't need it, yeah. But will we get it anyway? That's the question.
Maybe.
What's the symbol of your country? We had people from all around. This is a great place actually to meet people from all around the world. This gallery. Yeah. We had people from India, from Greece, from Portugal, from America, from everywhere. Okay, let's move. Yeah, this is the British stag with his British passport. Although it's been pointed out this would not be an acceptable passport photo, even if it's a great painting. Okay, this is just about getting involved. Participation as a way of connecting people when think national identity can be divisive, people were saying earlier on.
Regional identities, not as a regional identity, is great, everyone allows that, don't they?
Yeah, so regionals is okay, but national is a bit troublesome.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting point, yeah.
International.
International
identity.
identity.
In fact, tomorrow I'm going to Spain to visit my house there.
Yeah.
So,
you see yourself as a Scottish, British, European citizen of the world?
Of the world, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody should get on.
Are we too caught up in national identity?
I think so.
Okay. Let's quickly move on because we're kind of running out of time. This is Mr. Stagg the Elvis of the art world? Yeah.
No, I have to introduce this because this is my personal idea, is that, and I've always thought this, as soon as I saw the Monarch of the Glen, that he is, in fact, the Elvis of the stag world. He is the king. And he rocks.
We could go down the whole kind of spirit animal discussion if we had time. Okay, let's move on. This is kind of like the Banksy shredding. How does that sort of compare with the art of the 19th century, where we very much don't shred, and we're hoping not to shred the Monarch of the Glen?
It's in your mind because it's an unusual idea, and you think, nobody will ever forget about Banksy's picture.
Yeah.
And now I've seen the poor stag being shredded. Well, that's the same again.
Yeah. So that's gonna. Well done, Rick. That image is now etched on Thames's mind forever. Okay, let's. This is Jack Vetriano. That's just Jack Vetriano. Not liked by the art world for some reason. Is it because of snobbery? That's the accusation that was levelled today. Let's move through. Is that it? Okay, but I feel you've got one last one up your sleeve, because I know you, Rick. Okay, so we're kind of running out of time, but does any of that, maybe we should just quickly get some names. So we've got Jeff Thamesen, is that right? And what's your name?
Helen.
And?
Roy.
And Zoe and Catherine and Yola and Mikey, and we've got Muriel here. Come and have a seat for the last few minutes. What did any of this strike a chord with you? No or yes?
Well, we came to see her.
Yeah?
In the big picture there, it always reminds me of Billy Connolly when he was younger.
Yeah.
The man stretched out there, so I always have a look at him.
Yeah.
See,
Why?
He's having second thoughts about what he's just done.
Right, I see. Okay.
He's killed all those animals.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, earlier on we were talking a lot about this kind of thing with the animals. Do we now treat animals differently as we did back then in the painting? Are we kinder to animals now? Will we be more kind in the future? That was a big subject earlier on, especially amongst the kids. They felt there was a lot of cruelty to the animals in some of these pictures. Yeah?
Certainly hunting was there.
Yeah.
If you're a fox, you're
Yeah. You're in trouble, basically.
yes, but we're a bit too kind now. We're letting certain things...
Yeah.
Like the ravens are building up in numbers tremendously now.
So we've kind of gone...
red kites and things that have been protected.
So we've kind of gone the other way.
Yeah, we're not allowed to do anything about them, you see.
Okay. Are we too kind to animals now? Oh, yeah.
My dad's got horses, and he races horses, and he doesn't race them over hurdles because when they hit the hurdles, they get hurt, and sometimes they can die. So I think we're all outside of sport. I think we're getting a bit kinder to animals. I think animals used to be working animals, and now they're more pets.
Yeah.
I'm talking about over centuries.
So what has led to this change of mindset?
Well, it's become more civilized, haven't we? And we're further away from the reality, aren't we? In a sense of food, and we've got mass supermarkets import food in now, so it's all very different, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. So in a way, we're kind of separated from the.
Take the Clydesdale horses. They were happier when they're pulling logs out of forests and things. If they're just stuck in a field waiting for somebody come and speak to them, or I think they like to. They were working horses, and they're doing nothing now.
Yeah. Can you be working in your field too long? I guess is the question.
You want to work. I mean, we all want to make a contribution to the world, and I think animals do too. I mean, working dogs need to work.
Do animals need to work? That's what we're talking about now. Do I remember? Oh yes. Is it Chloe? Yeah. Okay. And come on, Joe, because we've only got 5 minutes left, and we're back. Give us a final thought, Jeff, before you go.
Final thought. Well, this is a shock coming here and actually having a microphone.
Well, you're not the first to have said that.
I was actually halfway through a pub crawl, and I've lost my friend. He's around here somewhere.
Can we give out a shout to him?
No, don't. He's very shy. He'll probably run.
Yeah. Okay. So in a way, it's a bit like an animal. We've got to tempt him. We've got to kind of tempt him very
to the water hole here.
Yeah. Maybe we just got to keep the conversation going, and he will come here. What's his name, just in case he comes?
Simon Capers.
Okay, so if Simon Capers comes and sits down, we'll try and grab hold of him.
He's an antisocial Welshman, so probably hard to herd, really. So thank you very much.
So we've got some new faces to the table. What's your name?
Chloe.
Chloe, yeah, and?
Mia.
And we've got Yola, we've got Muriel, we've got Catherine, we have got Zoe, we've got, what was it again?
Roy,
that's right, and Helen and Temsin. Timzen. Okay.
Timzan, I think.
Timzan.
Zen Buddhism.
Okay. My name's Mikey. Yes, sorry, I forgot about that. There we've got Rick. Rick, his latest one is like confused really between the aesthetic value and the monetary value. Does it matter how much a painting is worth? Do we see it differently if it's worth more? This is what... Yeah.
Van Gogh got nothing for his all the work. Now they've sold for millions, and they're probably not even on display. They're probably hidden away in some bank vault or something.
Yeah, I mean, should we be valuing this? I mean, what do you think about? Because earlier on
it's just the name on the.
Yeah.
That was Jack Bloggs. It would have been worth nothing, would it?
Okay, so is it about the name? What do you think? Do you think this is worth £5 million or 10 million?
I don't know.
Okay. Would you spend that kind of money on? What would you do if you had that kind of money? Would you buy a piece of art?
I don't know.
Don't know? Never. Yeah. What do you think?
I don't really know as well.
You don't know? Okay. Yeah, it's in a way, it's quite lucky that you haven't got 5 million, because it would be quite tough to know what to spend on it. Give us a final thought before you go, Roy.
5 million. We don't talk about millions, we talk about billions or trillions now.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between...
Yeah.
Yes. Think of world population, for instance.
Yeah.
In the year 1900, start of the 20th century, there were only 1,600 million people, and that's as many as increased from the year 2000 to now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's got.
So huge numbers, basically.
So it's okay in our lifetime. We're not too bothered about it, but as we're in our 80s. But in your lifetime, young people, we will be worried about huge population.
Okay. Helen, final thought?
I can't help thinking we've got a bus to catch.
Okay. What bus are you catching?
The bus 909 back to Stirling.
Okay. Have a good journey.
Bye.
Give it.
Going again. I'm not coming back now.
Okay. Give us a final thought. What have you enjoyed hanging around in the gallery today?
Yeah.
You've been here quite a long time.
Yeah.
What's been your favourite thing today?
Talking and Lego.
Okay. So.
Yeah, there's no thing to us to do.
It's all done. Okay. What's been your favourite thing?
I think it was like the Lego.
Yeah. You like the Lego?
Yeah.
Does it encourage you to be an artist?
Kind of a bit.
Okay.
Because once I had the dream of like something like a weird art.
Weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
And it had something to do with ice cream. I don't know how, but
okay.
It's like a person, but it's to do with ice cream. I don't know why, because there's like a hidden ice cream in the person.
Okay, so a person made of ice cream?
No, I don't know. Well, it's just a normal person, but it looks like, but there's something about ice cream. I don't really know.
Okay.
It's just a dream.
Okay, but I mean, maybe we could work something through this. Could you have? We'll ask the experts over here. Could you have art made out of ice cream? Could you have a person?
Oh yes, definitely.
Has anyone done it? Thank you. Bye bye.
Well, there's a plasma head, isn't there, made of blood and in the freezer, Mark Quinn. So there you go. You could definitely do it out of ice cream if you do it out of plasma.
Okay, so someone's made a head made out of frozen blood. So you could have a Fred made out of ice cream. You can do anything, you know. That's the great thing about it. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We're just about to close down, so we need some final thoughts. We need a sense of closure. Have you enjoyed today? We've got, what is it?
Tim Zen.
Tim Zen, that's right. Tim Zen and Tim Zan. Tim Zen. Tim Zen. Okay.
Zen.
Tim Zen. And
Gemma.
Gemma.
Alex.
Alex.
Yes.
And we've got Zoe. We've got Catherine. We've got Muriel and Yoda and I'm Mikey. We're kind of wrapping this up now, but. In a way, in that sense, we're looking for kind of like, some nice profound statements to end the day on. Have you enjoyed today? Have you been around for a while? Have you just popped in to get some antlers?
I think it's been quite fun.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think about art? Where is it going? Is it going to go more to all this kind of drawing and painting, or is it going to be human bodies made of ice cream and paintings shredding themselves? What do you think about art? Has it got...
I think it's just getting crazier by the year.
Crazier and crazier. Yeah, but crazier but interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, what do you think?
I think they're going to be using more technology.
Yeah.
For art now.
Yeah. What sort of technology?
Like computers and all that.
Okay.
Like to do that, they had to use a Pixel app or something, and then.
Yeah. Okay. So you need a computer to make this Lego. I mean, we've got in a way we're using computers to make our own art here, but and I guess we're only going to use more computers, and they're going to be more helpful to make all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's going to get more technological for sure. Do you see yourselves getting involved in arts?
I'd like to, if I get the grades.
Yeah. Do you need to? What kind of grades do you need to be an artist?
Really high.
Yeah.
A lot of A's and B's.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see yourself being an artist?
I did once, but then I failed art. So.
You failed art. Okay.
But everyone else enjoyed my work. It's just the examiners.
Yeah.
How can you fail art? That's not possible, is it?
Okay, you don't think it's possible. It is possible. Alex has proved it.
But you also need to write in school about art, which was quite hard.
Yeah. I mean, have there been any artists that have become successful that have actually failed art when they were at school.
Well, if you think about Vincent van Gogh, he didn't really sell many paintings when he was alive. So it depends what defines failure or success.
Okay, well that's a big one for this time of the. Okay, so can you? Zoe says, can you really fail art? Vincent van Gogh didn't really start even art until he was in his 20s. So he kind of didn't even take the exam. So, can you actually fail art? That's the question. Tamsin, have you got Timzen, have you got
well, actually, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
And I've gone from botanical illustration to total abstraction.
Yeah.
My work's just in colour.
Yeah.
On oriental paper. And I can't do enough of it. And it's so quick.
Yeah.
And I never charge anybody.
Right.
I just say, well, what is it worth to you? Do what you want to. Nothing. Tear it up if you want to.
Yeah. So you'll sort of give the art, and then sometimes you get something back monetarily. Sometimes you get something back in a different sense.
I know. Not in a different sense. Yes. Yeah. Yes. With friendship and knowing people like it, and it starts discussions. And I love the effect of the colours appearing. That's all I want out of it.
Yeah.
And I think, right, I'm finished with that one. What's in my head now?
Yeah.
So coming here today has been fantastic because I'm going to Spain tomorrow and very soon I'll be living there. And this place is usually like a bit flat, but I've got favourite paintings. And to see all this energy in here, I think it's the best thing. And I think they should do it more.
Yeah, animate the gallery. Yeah.
Bring it to the people.
Good, that's lovely to hear that.
Okay.
Fantastic way to end, I'd say.
Yeah, well, we are kind of coming to, but, I haven't got the final thoughts from this side of the table, so give us a final thought. Going back on Tim Zen's point, do we need to animate these pictures to get some sense of life out of them? More activity going on in the gallery. That's a great final thought. What do people think on this?
If you took a photograph, people wouldn't be animated.
Yeah.
If you were just doing a still photograph, and that's what these are.
Yeah.
Family portraits.
Right, okay. Is there a way to animate them? Not necessarily literally, but get the sense of life and story?
You get the sense of it by the way they're moving their arms and their legs, but you cannot make them move.
Okay.
Imagination, I suppose. But I think it's really important to animate the gallery and the spaces and for people to feel comfortable looking at art, that it's not difficult to do it. You just come here and be.
Yeah.
Like what's been applied today.
Yeah.
Oh, how can we get people in? What can we do? Everybody, children, adults, and then starting discussions about it. We'll all go away thinking and tell other people, and hopefully the galleries will take it on board, bring it down to level of the people again.
Okay, so in a way it's a multiple conversation and get that conversation going. Final thoughts? Any other final thoughts? Catherine?
Well, it's always good to think that the gallery is actually free to come to. So even from that level, I think a lot of people don't really know. They don't know that they can just come in. They don't know it's free. They might never have been to a gallery before,
Do you think you should have a big sign saying free entry on the outside?
Well,
like a huge neon sign? No. Okay. Final thought, Yola, have you got a final thought?
It's just been a very pleasant day. What a lovely space it is. Beautiful paintings. Going home with lots of food for thought. What more can I say?
Okay. Final thoughts, girls? Any final thoughts?
The same.
Yeah.
Like an interesting take on art, how to get more people involved and things like that.
Final thought?
The same.
Okay. Well, let's have a big. We've got food for thought. What would you do with the money? Mansion or art? Tough one. Okay, we'll leave you with that, and that's it. Thanks very much to Rick. Well done for all those amazing illustrations, and thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone at the National Gallery of Scotland, and thanks to Sir Edwin Landseer for starting it all off back then.